Recently in the news, NASA announced that they had officially found salt water on Mars. Now, this should either be a very big deal or one of those whatever type moments from people who think that the budget of NASA should go towards more useful things on this planet, like dealing with pollution, the ozone, hunger, homelessness, and more. But would you believe that to many in the know, this really isn't news? We've had Randy Kramer tell us that he spent 17 years of his 20-year military career stationed on Mars. We've had Max Steele, our guest tonight, tell us people are on Mars right now. He's been there. It's not just water or humans or soldiers or aliens on Mars. We know there's life there. There's no question about it. The confirmation of water should tell people that Mars is a planet that's alive. Makes you wonder if there's actually an atmosphere to breathe there, doesn't it? Personally, a close source has sent me pictures of Mars. They're untouched, and they're untouched up. If you join our Space Out Radio group on Facebook and scroll back a few months, you can find them there and view them for yourselves. Look, the U.S. military or the government isn't going to tell us about their technology. Why would they? Their technology, that's true, is really interstellar. But they're not going to tell us. But for the whistleblowers who talk publicly about this, people who travel to Mars should be able to collect air miles. Yes, we end this little speech on a little bit of humor. And on that note, we bring in Max Steele to Space Out Radio again. Max, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show again, my friend.
Thank you, Dave Scott, for letting me back here on your radio station, and thank you so much. I'm a little bit scratchy voice today, but anyway, I'm doing good, and thank you for letting me return back here again.
Oh, not a problem, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You're so knowledgeable when it comes to what is really going on. For the listeners who don't know about you, I just want to tell them a little bit about you. Max is someone who's worked at Area 51. He's worked on the Black Ops projects. He's been to Mars. He's a remote viewer. He's psychic. He's used those powers that are God-given for the United States military and militaries around the world. So, Max, when we talk about Mars, was it a shock to you when NASA all of a sudden came out last week and said, we found water on Mars?
Yeah. Water's been there for a long time. It's also in above the ground and also underground aquatics, large waterfalls of water flowing through the through Mars and different parts of there. Water's always been there. I don't know why they keep lying to us. It doesn't make sense because just to a short while ago, I didn't know too much about Mars because I had been in mind control when I got wounded up there, and I didn't remember anything about Mars. And just because of you yourself, about 3.5 weeks ago, you actually tapped in and you dug out you got my brain going and start to remember things just last night. Start remembering a lot of things. And I wrote a lot of stuff here that I did there when I was stationed there in 1976. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about a few things that I do remember of Mars. When I went up there as a Special Forces unit with 20 of my men. We're the Special Forces, U.S. Army Special Forces, from the 5th unit. That's the unit I was in. When I was in Mars, we had a special emblem and they got it. You can actually see it on Google Image, and it's called Mars Defense Forces. It's not quite like that picture. It's different, but the one that we use on our military uniforms, it did have a triangle. It had the sword in the middle, like the special forces, and it had a circle completely around the triangle, which they got it on the internet as inside the triangle. It's not like that at all. It's actually outside the triangle, in 3 letters, M on the left side, D on the middle, and F on the right side, the pyramid. What that means is Mars Defense Forces. That's the real triangle. Now, the triangle they got, the Mars Defense Forces they have on the internet, exactly orange on the inside. It is also orange when we had it, but the Mars planet is not orange like it shows on that emblem. It's actually blue. It's a blue emblem as of Mars. Mars is red like they show us. It's not really red at all. It's a blue pale color. We do have there an atmosphere. There is oxygen, not quite like Earth. It's just a little bit thinner. It takes a little bit to get used to it. When I was there, I did use some breathing, some special breathers that we had that would convert the oxygen in the Mars. It was very a little bit tense and dry. It was hard to breathe, but once you get used to it with the respirator that we use, it did not produce oxygen. It just changed the way we breathe on the planet. But anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way there. When I was there, I was sent to, I got some information here. I was sent to an area, it's called the northeast quadrant of Mars, where I was stationed there with my 20 men from my unit. Okay, when we got there, we didn't know what to expect because while we were, they told us before we left that we were going to a mission to a very far place. They didn't tell us exactly where, and we did do a jump coordinates from Area 51 to the moon, and then from there we took another coordinates. We went into a machine that transferred all 20 of us to Mars. We actually ended up in underground Mars when we arrived, and we were greeted by the people of our governments. Many governments were there. At the time when I was there was only 7 governments when I was there, and I was there in 1976. I believe Captain Randy Kramer was he came, I think, in probably the late 80s. I believe he said that. Not really very sure about that. And even though I had him on my radio show, on Dark City Radio, I did an interview of 2 hours. It was really great. But anyway, going back, when I arrived, we didn't know what to expect. Here we are. I'm asking questions. I arrived there with my man, and I was asked, the first question is, where are we? So they took us, and when we saw these tunnels, looked like glass tunnels, and actually it wasn't. It's some kind of a material that you could see right through, typically like glass. So anyway, I looked out, our man looked out, and we saw it looked like the desert. But, at the moment there, the sky was blue, pale blue, and I realized that we were somewhere else we weren't not know about. But finally they told us we were on Mars. And they gave us these weapons. And They told us not to take any weapons. We didn't. The only thing I took was my 9mm, which I used to have. Don't have it anymore, but I did take that with me. When we got there, we were shown these special weapons that it kind of looked familiar because at the time those weapons were being produced by certain weapon companies, but it wasn't aware of it. But we did have a weapon that we use. It's very close to the automatic weapon called the MP5. Okay, that's a bullet type of weapon. We then later on, as I always been I come from a family of inventors and always think about different things, how to protect myself a little better. And my God, when I was taken to this part of the Mars, where we take these weapons with us, and we encounter these large-sized insectoid. They're like next to us. They look like about 30 times bigger than an average human being. And it says, we're going to fight this with what? So, they showed us different weapons. We practiced with different weapons. And there's one that it was actually modified. I helped modify it. And we call it the MP5AB. It's a combination of gas and mercury. And then later on, when we tested it out, we did have a lot of result with it. And then later on, we modified it again, and we called it the MP5ABX. It's a combination with argon gas and mercury. And then we extended the barrel on the MP5 to 18 inches, so the recoil will be further extended and will be a better distance of a kill shot. So as we modified that, we modified a different one, and we call it, it's really the same thing as the MP5ABX. I call it it's a handheld extended modified prototype mid-rifle that was produced to recoil a type of heat-sensitive projectile laser that will heat the shot at a very high shield, shot according to the alien blood degrees. See, the blood of these aliens, the temperature does change because Mars is the temperature outside. It's anywhere from 80 to 90 degrees outside, and then later in the evening will drop down to about the 50-degree area. But these insectoid were where they lived there all their lives, and they got used to the different temperature. So when I realized that that temperature existed between those aliens, that I started to think about, why don't we modify this weapon to be a laser shot and control the temperature as the bullet or the laser penetrates their armor shields of bodies around them. So it will penetrate and will heat up. So we did modify that, and it worked. We had some help from some scientists that we call upon that were in S4 and also in Air 51. They came up. I showed them what I wanted to do, and they came up with it. And we were able to shoot these insectoid. And what it did, it destroyed the nervous system and shut down everything in their body structure. And that's one of the weapons that we created up there. I don't know if it was still up there when Randy Kramer went up there, but that's what we had. Any questions, Dave?
Well, let me reintroduce you. We are talking with Max Steele tonight on Spaced Out Radio. This is Max's second appearance on this show, and we are talking about Mars. What is up there? NASA will have you believe there's a couple of rovers and some water. Max is here to tell us a little bit different, that we're walking around up there on a daily basis. Max, let's humanize this for a couple of minutes. What's it like to spend a day up on Mars? Take us through the day. Is the sun the same? I mean, the video and footage that they have showed us, it shows just barren desert. Is that truly what it's like?
Well, in the areas that I was put in to scout the area, it was mostly desert. But there is not just desert. There's another part of Mars that's very wooded area, similar to Earth. Like if you go out in a deep forest or national parks, there are definitely life plants. And there's also water, and there are other animals out there, dinosaurs, which Randy Creamer said at one of my shows. And not only that, it is all true what he's saying. Randy Creamer is very reliable, and I believe in what he's saying because I experienced the same thing. It's just that I didn't remember until you actually opened my mind, and I'm grateful to that. Go ahead.
We are talking with Max Steele tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Max, in the information that you have gained from your time on Mars to obviously researching since you've had your little self-opening, what have you found out? What is the biggest type of news that you have found out about what is up there?
Well, there's a lot of stuff up there. There are many ships up there from different extraterrestrial. There's probably there about a good, the last time when I was there, we counted probably about 12 to 17 of them. But every week it changed. We were being visited from other entities, mostly. I would say probably about 10% were light beings, and the rest were very negative. It's actually a place where they shuttle into get supplies from other aliens and be gone on their way to a different galaxy or a different constellation or universe. But it's like a place where you will come in and land, and they will share things among each other, or trade, or exchange. There's a lot of things going on there. I'm not really sure at this time, but I can imagine things are a lot different than when I was there.
When you were up there, did you end up seeing a lot of different people? Like, how many people were up there when you took that jump ship from the moon to Mars? How long did that take, and how many people were meeting you on the other side?
Well, it took us about 12 minutes. I asked about that because when we landed on Mars, it was kind of awful quick. And I did ask, and how long did it take us to get here? And they told me about 12 minutes, Earth minutes, since time does not exist up there. But about 12 minutes it took us to get there. Now, we do have a spacecraft that does go up there, and it leaves Dugway Air Force Base, at least anywhere. They've been doing like 2 trips a week, and the landing strip on this, when this craft takes off, it needs at least 20,000 feet of taxi to take off. And when it lands, it's a lot different, but it does take 33 hours for this spacecraft to leave Dugway Air Force Base and land on Mars. 33 Earth hours. That's how long it takes. They do take a lot of supplies up there. This information that I'm giving you is actually coming in from a friend of mine that's secretly involved in that space program. Cannot reveal his name to put him in danger.
That amazes me. 33 hours from liftoff on Earth to Mars. That vehicle has to be absolutely cruising. And they hide it at Dugway.
That's where it is.
Why Dugway when you're right in the heart of the country where a lot of people might be able to see you?
Well, I don't know why they're doing it that way, but actually Area 51 was moved there, and so that's where the new Area 51 is. But they keep saying that, but I don't believe that's true, because when I worked in S4 in the early, would be 1975, April 75, when I started to go there. But S4 is still very active, so is Area 51. And not only that is active, it's also because that ship that I worked in when I went there, that ship actually still communicates with me from time to time. And when I can ask, when the ship does communicate with me telepathic, I ask the ship what's new, what's going on there. And it doesn't reply like you talk to a human being, because it is a machine, and it does have artificial intelligence. And when it does communicate, it does not communicate with a voice. It communicates with these symbols and signals and vibration that I hear in my thoughts. And that's the way to communicate with me. But it is very different, but it does communicate with me. I do ask the ship to tell me different things about what's going on there, and so I can keep tab with what's going on the outside there. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all right. We are talking with Max Steele tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're going to throw Max on hold as we are up against our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to learn more about Mars. Why are we there? How long have we been going there? Let's find out some real information, because people, he's going to tell us there's more than just water up on the big red, or what he says, blue planet. You're listening to Space Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. We'll see you on the other side.
This is Patrick Webster Small, and I'm going to bring you the Webster Phenomena right here on Spaced Out Radio, Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Every week, I'm going to bring you the freshest information on the globe. I'm bringing you guys the truth, extraterrestrials in the sky, prophecy, chemtrails, rainbow spot, the seventh angel, biblical skies, ancient gods, ghosts, spirits, see it, hear it. So let's do this every Monday night. I'll see you back here at 8 p.m. Pacific Time.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Did you know that Spaced Out Radio is live 7 days a week? This is Jim Tyson, host of Spaced Out Weekend. You can listen to my show, Spaced Out Weekend, every Saturday and Sunday night starting at 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. On Spaced Out Weekend, we like to delve into the paranormal, even the newest technologies that have enhanced modern-day ghost hunting. And sometimes, we'll get a little creative and dabble into the crypto world, UFOs, and much, much more. So tune in at www.spacedoutradio.com on the weekends and listen to me, Jim Tyson, on Spaced Out Weekend.
Hi there, this is Jolene with Rivulet Reiki and Readings, and I want you to relax. Let me help you chill out and get in touch with your body, mind, and soul. In this busy world, sometimes we need to let go, and this is where I can help. Visit my website, rivuletrndr.wix.com/rivuletrndr, or my Facebook page, Rivulet R&R, to set up an appointment for relaxation, Reiki, or readings, no matter where you are. Spaced Out Radio listeners will also receive 10% off their first visit. It's time for you to make time for you.
The Spaced Out Radio Network can be found at spacedoutradio.com. Hi there, this is Dave Scott. Here you can join the latest on our weekly shows and news from around the world involving UFOs, cover-ups, cryptids, ghosts, and more. Read articles from our very talented staff and check out our weekly tarot card reading from Psychic Catherine. You can also sign up for free on our forum and tell us about your experiences. SpacedOutRadio.com. Always live, always interactive.
Ready to find out what's flying up in the sky? Me too. Hi there, this is Rich Giordano. Please join me every Sunday night at 7 for the AZ UFO Show. It's a fast and compelling 2-hour show on UFOs, extraterrestrials, conspiracy theories, and much more. Every week we will have great guests and great topics to try and answer the ultimate question, are we alone in this universe or not? So tune into the AZ UFO Show with me, Rich Giordano, right here on the Spaced Out Radio Network at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with Dave and his guests? Learn more at spacedoutradio.com for the latest news, features, photos, and articles. Spacedoutradio.com is where you can stay up to date on what's happening around the world and up in the stars. And now, back to Dave Scott.
It's Thanksgiving weekend up here in Canada, so I want to wish all our Canadian listeners a happy Thanksgiving weekend. Be safe, having some enjoyment with your family and friends, and enjoy your turkey or ham dinners, or if you're vegetarian, your kale, your soybeans, your quinoa, whatever you're going to do. But stay safe, have fun, enjoy the long weekend up here in Canada for our Thanksgiving. Tomorrow night, Uncle Jimbo, James Tyson, is back in the cabin to broadcast Spaced Out Weekend Saturday and Sunday night. I will be back on Monday, and we will be joined by Heidi Hollis. We're going to talk about the paranormal. It's going to be a lot of fun having some ghost story tales to tell on Monday night. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. You can give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. You can also ask to join our private Spaced Out Radio group. You can go on our website as well and join our free forum, as well as check out our whole list of shows. There are more shows coming. We are a couple of months away from opening up our own brand, which will be Spaced Out Radio Network at spacedoutradio.com. And we're going to push hard for 24-hour programming for you, because this station is all about you, the listener, and the experiences you have. Tonight we are talking about Mars with Max Steele. Yes, that's a pseudonym, but Max has been to Mars. He was stationed there. He's done battle up there, and we're going to learn more. We bring Max in to the studio once again right now. Max, you said earlier in the show that Mars has an atmosphere. You can breathe on there. Do you need a respirator, or can you wander around Mars with just breathing in? You did mention that the air is a little bit different and a little bit thinner, but do you need that respirator?
At the time that I was there, I needed it. And as I took it off from time to time so my lungs could get used to it, we were put in this capsule. It looked like one of these divers, when divers come up to the surface too fast, they put in one of these, I forget what they're called, but they put us in one of those so we can get adjusted to the breathing the oxygen outside into the atmosphere on Mars. It took me a little bit longer than some of the other guys, because some of the other guys were they were very good frogmen. I always had a problem with oxygen anyway, but yes, it takes a little bit of adjusting to it, and you can't breathe the oxygen outside. Yes, you can. Just takes a little time to get used to.
When you were on Mars, how long did it take you to actually get used to the atmosphere? Did you see the water? Because I'm going to assume that Mars also has poles, much like we do here on Earth.
Not quite like it at all, but there are parts in the northern part of Mars where there is ice and there is snow, and there is underwater flow that flows underneath it. Just can't see it. It's too deep. But I did see a couple times while flying over Mars in a special craft that we were allowed to use for the military. And I did see water from the sky. And I did, with the craft that we were flying, we did get close to the water. And we got in within probably, I would say about 50 meters. And as soon as we got lower, we started to get attacked by different types of these lasers coming out of the water. It was shooting at us, so we had to remaneuver ourselves back higher up so we wouldn't be hit. It was mostly when you got closer to the water is when we were being attacked. And I believe that what we were being attacked was from an outside source that did not want us to get too close so we could see what was going on there. And, I did make a report when we got back on that and to the higher in the command that we need to investigate that somehow to see what's going on there. We never did investigate that. They told us that it was out of reach from us, that we were not allowed to go in that area again. So that's what happened there.
When I talked to Randy Kramer on this show back in December, he said when he was there, Mars was a very violent place. There are some peaceful beings. They live underground. The poles were pretty much owned by humans, as we had almost like taken over the pole section. And the surface, though, was where the real crap hit the fan, with very, very violent types of almost like dinosaur-like animals running around, along with alien species who obviously don't like the humans being there. When you were there 15 years previous to Randy, was it just as violent then as it is when he was there?
Oh, man, it was worse. It was very violent. We fought many different types of extraterrestrial there. Mostly were reptilians and greys and some draconian and other insectoid insects I've never seen before, not even on planet Earth, because it doesn't exist here. But yes, it was very violent. But I got to tell you something. You need to know that I remote viewed this morning and I wrote it. Okay, I had noticed a couple of times when I was scouting through Mars that every time we got into a place, an area where there were other extraterrestrials fighting each other. I noticed something in that fighting that I had never seen before, not even on Earth or any other place that I was at. But what I did notice that there was the fighting, the violence that created between each extraterrestrial. They were fighting for many reasons. They were fighting to take control of different parts of Mars, and some of them was mostly for food, the structure of food. Okay, now what I want to get to is that I had noticed one night, and I think it was 0100 a.m., and I had noticed in a distance a reflection of this light that showed up all of a sudden. But it looked like it was an invisible being, an ET, that did not have a body structure like a human. It was mostly like a fish, but mostly looked like an octopus. Like it had 8 legs on it. It was probably I was probably a distance from when I saw that, probably about 300 yards, but I was able to look through my special binoculars that we had, because this happened actually in the middle of the night when everybody's sleeping. But I did catch on that reflection of that energy light. And what it was is that I discovered that when there's violence in those areas of fighting between the extraterrestrial and others, that this being will appear, and it would appear in whatever energy or structure of violence that was causing at that moment in time. It will make it will not allow violence to occur. And what it did was it neutralized these beings and disappeared them. They disappear. And I noticed that a couple of times. And that's what I got for now. I do have some experience that I had there on Mars that I need to, if I get a chance to talk about it. And I wrote it down. It's pretty interesting. And
absolutely.
And you know what, Dave? It's got something to do with when you did that reading on me that woke me up when I got shot on Mars on the stern by a laser. I want to talk a little bit because you told me that the being that saved my life there is an extraterrestrial, about 7 to 8 feet tall, gray, long neck, long arms. And believe it or not, I've actually got the information on that today. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Is that okay with you?
Well, let's talk about what happened to you first. If you could let the people know about the mission that you were on when this incident happened, and then we can lead into you being healed and so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, we need to back this up a little bit before we get to that point. And let me go ahead and give you this information. I was actually... I was with 7 of my men scouting. It was approximately about 2:45 a.m. in the morning, and about 0300 hours in the morning, we saw a beacon light appear in the northeast quadrant. And we decided to do a scout on that. So we got in these machines that hovers over it looks like a round tube it looks like a round cage you go into, and then it floats and hovers. It's only for one person. You can actually maybe squeeze another person in there, but it's only for one person. So 4 of us decided to scout that. And when we got there, we saw this beacon light on and off, And as soon as we got there, three of us started to approach the craft, and it was around approximately 20 feet diameter. It looked like an orb to us, because at that time we did not know the knowledge that, of a sphere ship was real or not at that time. We call them orbs at that time. So this happened in 1976. I approached the object at a safe distance as the object talked to me by telepathic. It said, we do not come here to hurt you. We need your help. As my warriors, my unit, I told them to stand down, that I needed to communicate with them. And the communication at the time was a little bit weird, scratchy, but since that type of knowledge was different, it said to get closer. So I did. I trusted. I got closer. I told my man to stand down. And as I got closer to the craft, I felt that I was I was shrinking into a smaller size, and then the ship beamed me inside of the craft. Now, as the ship blinked and paused and disappeared, I saw that we were traveling in time into another planet, and the star system, it crossed three portals. We arrived at an underwater base in a planet that was very unknown to me and also the universe. At the arrival, I was taken to the general that you know the name, Ashtabar, remember him? He was very tall, about 7 to 8 foot tall. Everyone else was 2. I was talking to I was taken to a room that it was like a jail type of room. And when I got inside, it was a highly classified area where all the intel of theirs was there. Okay. And I saw, it said, I asked, what's all this intelligence here? He said, well, it's not only just the intelligence of the surrounding planets in the universe that we at, we also have intelligence, future intelligence of Earth. Earth changes. So we didn't go into too much detail of that, but in that solar system, it showed me all the intelligence and weakness at its strong points on how to maneuver their weakness and their high strong points. Ashtabar showed me how to outmaneuver the opponents in high weakness to counter their abilities when they think they're winning. I asked him why I was here and why me, and he said that's I saved his life, his people, and many of his planet in the star system. He wanted me to see what I did, and I did see it in the future where I come from, and into the present time. Ashtar and 20 of them warriors and myself was sent into a warp tunnel in that room and sent to a further future to change a machine in the future before it's present. I will appear in a change there. People also in Mars. In other words, we were changing the future in the Matrix. That's what we were doing at that time, and that was in 1976. He said when we arrive at the Matrix future, for me to change since my galactic family and elders were the creators. Well, he was saying that where I come from, it's the planet of a lion in the 17 universe. that my people were the creator of this machine. So I did remember after a few seconds how to operate that supercomputer and activation codes. As he joined in his mind together, we came out with a perfect program matrix to activate the future. As we finished, we returned to Mars. My men were waiting. They asked me, why did I return so quickly? I said, well, I was gone for 3 days. He says, no, you were gone for 10 minutes. So I said, wow. After the orb ship left, we returned back to our headquarters. That's what happened there. Got any questions?
When you were injured in regards to the battle, take us through the battle that you participated in.
Okay, that battle was late 1976, probably in early 70s, 1977. I think in November of 1976, when this all occurred. Our commander sent us to a area that had never been investigated by us or any other troops that were there. And we were sent to that area with no intel. And when we got there, there was a battle going on there between different types of ETs and insectoid and other different types of dinosaurs, and they were fighting against each other. And we were right; we didn't know what to do, Which is, I said to myself, "This is not our problem. Let them kill each other. Let's get out of here." But then, as soon as we started to get familiarized with the area, we were instructed that we had to stay there and hold the place. So we got into higher ground, and we were starting to get fired upon from all these different types of extraterrestrial. They were shooting at us. We didn't know what to do. We just shot back, and our weapons were not very good because they were shooting from a higher, a longer distance than we are, because our weapons did not reach that area. It was only allowed to reach about 350 meters. That's about it. It's not like if I wish I had a 50 caliber, I could have hit them, because I would have been better off. We didn't have those weapons. But we were fired upon, and our men were starting to fall down one after the other. There was just too much fire going at us. We barely made it, and 17 of my men got killed, and it was just 3 of us left. And we were just barely getting ready to get out when I received a shot on the right side of my stern. And I got shot with a laser. It cut me up pretty bad. I still have problems with it. Have problem with my intestines, and have a lot of problem with my lungs. Some of the laser that I was hit had this chemical compound that was structurally, it would damage any human being that will be hit by that type of weapon. And I did get hit on my right side, just below, over to the higher part of the ribs, and I got hit there. It did demolish my intestines, my upper intestines, and some of my lower intestines. Also, I was it did damage my heart, and actually the laser cut a piece of my heart at the very bottom. The right side of the heart was damaged. It was not pumping enough blood. I passed out, and Ashtabar, the being I was talking earlier about, he came in his ship and beamed me out of there with my men and dropped my man back to headquarters, and they took me back to John Cornyn's out of Mars into the moon, and then from the moon we went back to Area 51 where I was operated. After that, I mean, when I got hit, I passed out. I didn't remember anything else after that. This information I'm giving to you was an information that was given by Arstavar, which now is one of my protectors here on Earth, which he goes everywhere I go. He is real. He's not a fantasy. He is there with me at all times. And when some harm or something of any place appears, then he appears. And not just him, but a lot of his soldiers are with me at all times. They made a commitment. That I'm hearing a feedback, Dave. I don't know where it's coming from.
You sound great on this end, so just keep running with it. Okay, great.
So, from what I heard, see, the commander of Area 51 at the time, I'm just going to reveal his first name. I can't reveal his last name. His first name is Max, like me. When I woke up in Area 51, and the commander Max came up and he said, "Man, you've been to an ordeal." I said, "Yeah, but I don't remember anything." "Yeah, I know. We did work on your mind. We didn't want you to remember anything." And we had to work on you because we didn't want this information to get out later in the future. But fortunately, it did get out until recently. You tapped into it and you opened a lot of mind control I was involved with. And now I remember, not all of it. I think I remember now probably about 60 to 70% of it now. I didn't remember nothing until you started talking to me 3.5 weeks ago. But after that, when I woke up, I just didn't remember anything else. I didn't remember I was on Mars at all. I thought I got shot. I still didn't remember where I got shot. I knew I was wounded, but there was a lot of things I was having problem with. It took me a long time to recover, but I did recover, and but my mind was shut down. And then later on, I was released from Area 51, and I was released to into the different special ops I was involved with. Later on, after I was released, I actually left the military, but I didn't leave for too long because as soon as I left, within 7 or 8 months, I was asked to come back for special different types of jobs that they had lined up for me. But as I recover from the wound that I had on Mars, I later on in January 28th, I was assigned. 1981, I was assigned to the President of the United States, which was Ronald Reagan at the time. And when he became in office on January 20th, 1981, he asked for certain individuals to build a special op team to protect him, and not also that, to be kept secret from the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Vice President. President Ronald Reagan only knew that. They have made movies of it. They call it Delta Force. That's just the name they chose for the movie, but it really was a different type of special forces unit that I was involved in. It was called the Special Forces Elite. a little bit. It's a step higher than Special Forces, a step higher than the Navy SEALs. It was kept very secret, and I was involved with 12 of my 11 of the band. We were just 12 total. We did have special types of it was like a credit card that we use in case we're caught behind enemy lines and we had to either buy something that we need to get away or steal it. You know, we were trained.
Right.
We were trained as pilots. Smaller airplane craft. Also, we were trained in flying helicopters, different types, and different things that we had to do in case we were caught behind enemy lines. And when we appear in these missions that we had to go, we did not use U.S. military uniform. We used black uniform that we used at that time. But that's what I was involved with. Now, if we can go back to Mars, and I can tell you a bit more about it. Just tell me specific what you want to know.
Max, you know what? I have a lot of questions from the Space Out Radio chat room. We are late for a break. We're going to put you back on hold here. You're listening to Max Steele on Space Out Radio tonight. We're learning about Mars, his experience on Mars. Yes, there's life there. Yes, there's water there. Yes, there is air and an atmosphere. Let's learn more right after this break. You're listening to Space Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. We'll be right back.
The Phoenix Lights, Roswell, secret military aircraft, flying saucers. Let's check out the sky together. Hi, this is Rich Giordano, host of the AZ UFO Show right here on the Spaced Out Radio Network. Every Sunday night at 7, we hit the airwaves to talk about the phenomenon of unidentified flying objects and more. We want to hear your stories. Maybe you've seen what many others have seen. Only one way to find out, the AZ UFO Show on Sunday nights on the Spaced Out Radio Network on spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is James Tyson, host of Spaced Out Weekends, and I know you're enjoying tonight's show with Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio. I just wanted to remind you that Spaced Out Radio continues on the weekends with me. On Spaced Out Weekend, we hit the airwaves at www.spacedoutradio.com starting at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. We have great guests with interesting chats regarding all things paranormal, supernatural, cryptozoological, and much, much more. So tune in to Spaced Out Weekend and give us a listen.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
Need a break but don't have the time? Tired of life's running around? Hi, this is Jolene from Rivulet Relaxation and Readings. Let me help you in your time of need. From Reiki to Realm Readings, I can help provide you therapy for your mind, body, and soul. Check out my website at rivuletrnr.wix.com/rivuletrnr. And if you're a listener of Spaced Out Radio, receive 10% off your first session. Rivulet Relaxation and Readings. And don't forget to give my Facebook page a like. It's time for you to make some important time for you.
The Spaced Out Radio Network can be found at spacedoutradio.com. Hi there, this is Dave Scott. Here you can join the latest on our weekly shows and news from around the world involving UFOs, cover-ups, cryptids, ghosts, and more. Read articles from our very talented staff and check out our weekly tarot card reading from Psychic Catherine. You can also sign up for free on our forum and tell us about your experiences. SpacedOutRadio.com. Always live, always interactive.
The Webster Phenomena airs on Spaced Out Radio on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm your host, Patrick Webster Small, and I discovered extraterrestrials in the atmosphere, which led me to more discoveries, developing the Webster Phenomena, which is the occurrence of extraterrestrials throughout nature. I will explain the Webster phenomena and all my recent discoveries every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Want to call in to Spaced Out Radio? You can. 1-607-203-5344. You can tweet us at Spaced Out Radio or send us a message on Facebook at Spaced Out Radio. And now, back to the show. Here's Dave Scott.
We got a packed chat room. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's always a great pleasure to have you all with us tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio. And for our Canadian listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving. For our American listeners, hope you have a great long weekend as well, as it is Columbus Day for you down in the United States. Have a safe one. Enjoy your meals and time with your friends and family, and be safe out there. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook at Spaced Out Radio Show. Give our page a like, or you can ask to join our private Spaced Out Radio group. You can also join our free forum on our website at spacedoutradio.com. Tell us your stories. Tell us your experiences, who you'd like to hear on this show or other shows. You can check out our lineup of shows. And pretty soon we will be offering 24-hour programming on spacedoutradio.com, as we are going to be moving servers onto our own network. It's exciting times. Give it a couple of months, but we are going to go for it. We feel the message is that important for us to do it. Do not forget, you can also follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Uncle Jimbo, James Tyson, is in the hot seat in Uncle Jimbo's cabin this weekend for Spaced Out Weekend, Saturday night at 10 p.m. Pacific and Sunday night at 9 p.m. Pacific. Tonight we are talking about Mars. Our guest is Max Steele. He was on the planet in 1976. It's great to have you back on with us, Max. Thank you for sticking around for hour number 2. I do have a few questions from our Spaced Out Radio chat room.
I know.
And this is a very, very important question. Why is Mars so violent? Were you ever able to figure out why there is so much hostility there?
Well, it was mostly for the type of beings that were there that wanted control, because Mars is like a station where they would come and trade with other aliens and able to, it's like a hub station, if we just to take control, and like everything on the planet Earth. I mean, people are always in violence and greedy about money and stealing and doing this and scamming people. It's not quite that way, but it's very close in some way. But it's very violent. I don't know how it is now, because I don't have any type of communication there. But I do have a way how to find out things in certain places where humans are not allowed to be. But I do have a way of finding out things. But at the moment, cannot talk about that, because I've been instructed by my protector, Ashtar not to say certain things, especially when we and him and his warriors went into the future in the Matrix and changed a few things that we needed to change. The change did not come from me. The change was asked by other light entities from other galaxies. They asked if we could do this for them that would affect later in the future of other planets, not just planet Earth and Mars, but other planets itself. and that's what we did. But I've seen the chat room. There's some questions there about is the water drinkable? The water is drinkable in certain areas of Mars, but we did carry with us these bottles, small little bottle that hold an ounce. To me, it didn't have a smell. It smelled like a little bit like Clorox, but not quite. Every time we did get a canteen full of water, we have to put 3 drops in there, and then shake the water and shake the canteen for about maybe 15 seconds, shake it real good, and be able to drink the water. But the water cannot be drank like you drink here in spring water like that. There's some type of purification that you have to go through in order to drink that water. Any other questions from the chat room there? Dave? Are we there?
Yes. Are we on Mars at this time to colonize it, or are we there just for experimental purposes to try and make our place on the universal scale?
Well, the beginning when I was there was mostly for experimental, okay? But as the time went by, I did see a sector of Mars to the south east of it, where our headquarters was at. They were colonizing. They were building a round dome type of, I didn't get the actual structure, what the structure was made of, but they were making these domes. And these domes was built, I noticed that they were using these compressors to blow them up. Okay, and it's mostly, with the time was experimental, but after that it was for colonization. There's a lot of information out there that's being put out there on YouTube that's really completely false, okay, because the false in it is mostly to create fear, okay, to make people discomfort them and put fear in their minds and try to control them. Okay, but a lot of information out there is not real. It's fantasy. It's mostly to control the humans on Earth and all that. But going back to Mars, they ask, here's a question there. There's interdimensional battle between UFOs and other planets or beings on Earth. You have a knowledge? Yes, I do. There are right now 6 races in our universe, especially on Earth, that wants to take control of the Earth to between 6 different races. They are fighting each other, and some of these are grays, different types of grays that you not used to know about. They're from a higher dimension, and they are here fighting against a total of 6 against each other to take control of the planet. But they're not going to be able to do that because the light entities, all they're doing is waiting for all these 6 races to kill each other off. And that's what they're doing. They're standing back and let them kill each other, which they will eventually. They're not going to be able to take over the planet Earth. The planet Earth is actually a planet that is now being protected by many types of like extraterrestrial councils, like the Andromeda Council and the Arcturian Council. They're actually protecting the Earth because Earth was not made for a planet of violence. Earth was made mostly for a planet where every extraterrestrial in many universes can travel here and enjoy themselves here while they're here. Like for example, you go on vacation with your family and you have a good time in different parts of the planet. Like you go to Russia, you go to France or England or whatever, Australia or Canada. So it was mostly for a place for peace, love, and harmony. And we got these ETs like the reptilian race that are very powerful, and they came here and they took over Earth, and they've been here for a long time, for over 5,700 some years, to take control of this planet. They have dominated this planet with their technology. Not only a lot of technologies that we're using right now, like the smart cell phones and the smart TVs and the satellite signals for watching TV. I'm not going to say the two companies. I'm sure you well know what company are they. But, it's all about mind control. It's about who takes the first place and stay there. And it's all about that. It's all about control. And also Mars is the same way. Mars was experimental at the time. When I was there, it was about 12 races. But as time went by, more races came. I counted at the last time where I was there. I was only there for a little bit. I wasn't there a very long time, like Randy Kramer was. But I was there a very short time. But I counted at that time 12, and then when I had before I had the accident where I was wounded, it was a total of 17. But then later on, it was more. When I was there was approximately humans from different countries in our planet here. From different countries, I saw Americans. I saw the United Kingdom. A lot of some were from Ireland, some from Wales, another one from Scotland, England. Don't remember what else there, but also there was France. There were scientists from France, Italy. It would be the G7 countries that were there at that time. Now, I'm sure there's more now, but when I was there, approximately of humans were probably about 7,017. I think that's the actual at the time that I was there. And they were mostly from different countries in the planet Earth. And also, I did see some ETs there that were very dark. Didn't like them very much. And I just didn't like their energy. And did come across them a few times in underground caves and also above ground. Every chance that I took, I blew the hell out of them. And they're called the mantis. That we got some here on Earth, and they hide in underground bases that's in the Lake Michigan area underwater. They did have 3 bases there, but 2 of them were destroyed last year because of what they were doing. They've been experimenting and taking people against their will while they're sleeping and do things to them. They just don't like that. But when I was on Mars, I did encounter them a lot, and I didn't like their energy. I know what they did, but every chance I took that I was able to encounter them, I would blow them up, okay, and take them out. But let me go back to the area where I got shot. As soon as I got hit, right after that, this type of, because we were surrounded. I mean, there were thousands of them, and 3 of us couldn't handle that. That's impossible. So we did get a fire from I saw a laser beam light that came from the sky, from the the northeast, and it came down and it hit smack in the middle of all these aliens who were getting ready to kill us. And shot was shot. It's all laser, and all of a sudden the laser blew up like it was a yellow bubble of light, but it was mostly, I heard this crackling noise on the bottom of my feet, where as soon as that hit, okay, it looked like a near-clear weapon of some sort that blew them to Kingdom Come, but there was a shot that came from nowhere and hit me right in the right side. That's when I was wounded. Go ahead, Dave. Got anything else to ask me? Dave? Dave, you fall asleep?
No. I believe it or not, I have my studio at home, and my damn cat got in and started meowing away. So I had to make sure I had my mic off so I could throw him back out of the room.
Well, I got cat seer right here next to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes we try and be professional on this show at times, and I apologize to our listeners for that. Now, one of the questions that I have for you is, with the colonization of Mars, I mean, you're saying we've been there for pretty much 40 years. In your studies or in your field, have we placed man on any other planet or moon within our solar system?
To my knowledge, when I was there, no, at the time I didn't know anything about that. But Randy Kramer did talk about that we did go to other planets. I don't know if he said Venus, but I know Neptune, he talked about that. And we did have different space stations, different galaxies and constellations where the secret space program, which is run by the Air Force and the Navy, they do go to just different places that Randy described in one of his interviews with me on my show. To my knowledge, I would say that it's still going on, and that I'm sure the thing's a lot different now, and we're using different types of spacecraft. I know they're using a technique that a friend of mine actually came up with. He's going to be in one of my shows on Dark City Radio in about 2 weeks. His name is John Lane. He's a NASA contractor, and he was involved with. He actually made an engine, a rocket engine, that worked as a laser. And when he built that, it did a lot of damage in the ground when it was taken off with force. But eventually he fixed that and was able to modify one of these engines from the new space program that we have now. And this was not that far long ago that he did this. But as soon as he finished that engine that he was involved with, they fired him from NASA. And he's been involved in a lot of things. Now he's heading my way. I think next week he will show up in my home. Right now I'm in Miami, Florida. My mother got sick and had to go back there, and my father asked me to come, so I did. Did leave yesterday. I'm in Miami right now, and next door neighbor that has Wi-Fi internet there. And I'm using his computer right now, and that's where I'm calling from right now. But the point is that a lot of things have been changed since the time I was there. Now it's been how many years is that now? Like 40 years? Close to 40. But anyway, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things. And we do have the ability to do certain things that we're not being told. And you can imagine different things that is really going on that our governments don't want to talk about. Vladimir Putin from Russia has been talking about different things, about disclosing what the Americans are not doing. They just don't want to let the secret out. But you know what? I wish Vladimir Putin would say something. Go ahead and open up and make the Americans look like a bunch of idiots, because they are a bunch of idiots. And they need to stop lying to us and need to come forward and tell the truth to the United States, our nation. And they need to tell the truth about everything. They need to come clean and stop hiding things from us. They're not going to win what they're up to. They're not going to. We need to do something from the inside, which we are doing in many places. It's just going to take a little time, a little bit longer. But will planet Earth be free? Yes, planet Earth will be free. And we'll get rid of a lot of things that are affecting not just the economy and also the air we breathe. It's contaminated. And we just need for the U.S. to come clean and want to tell the people what's going on. They tell the people, you know how it is. And then they make up these flag events to try to confuse us and cause fear among us. I don't take that very well. I know what they're up to. I will always, as the special forces that I am, from the 5th Unit of the U.S. Army. That's where I was in the U.S. Army, out of Fort Bragg, Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is still there. I know they're listening because I sent messages today, and they're listening to our radio show right now. Guys, if you hear me, when the time comes, remember you swore as foreign or domestic. Don't go domestic. Okay? Well, the citizens of the United States, we need your help. And I don't have any weapons now because I sold them all, but I don't need any. But if I'm needed, I will be active, as old as I am. I'm a warrior, and I'll always be a warrior, no matter what the outcome is. Go ahead, Dave.
We are talking with Max Steele tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Max is an experiencer who served military time on Mars. Max, we talk about how violent Mars is or was when you were there, and we've heard how violent it was when Randy Kramer was there. A lot of people on this planet are very fearful of what extraterrestrials are all about. What is their game plan? What is their agenda? Do people have a lot to fear here on Earth about extraterrestrials, or is it the naive adage that they already have so much better technology than we do that if they really wanted to take us over, they probably would have already?
Yeah, I agree with you. They would have done it a long time ago. Let me tell you, Earth is protected right now by very high intelligence beings of light. They always tell me when they communicate with me telepathic. They usually I keep asking, when are you going to come here and do something about it? Because the Earth people are not going to be able to do anything because they're being controlled by mind control. How are we supposed to take advantage of this if we don't get outside help? Well, the answer was, they told me that we need to start something, some type of revolution, some type of something we can use. We have a lot of technology. We have a lot of people, not in the American government, but in many governments throughout the planet, where we have the abilities to use these special weapons that we were trained into. Why don't we just use that against the different types of native entities that are here on Earth? Let's just use them against them. Stop. We need to wake up. We need to use these weapons against them. You know, our government here in the United States is very well controlled by the reptilian race, and not just them, the Cronian, and also the Archons. They're the ones mostly in control right now. But they are losing the war against us because there's a lot of us now that have been awakened. And like your show, Dave, and other shows out there in the streaming radio are doing something. But this is a start. We do it by talking. We do it by exposing, and to use the technology that we were taught with, use it against them. So that's what we need to do. We have to start somewhere. We just can't sit on our ass like a couch potato and watch satellite TV and get fat and eat and gain weight. And we need to go out and do something. We need to do it now. But I can't tell you that the earth will be free. And can't tell you exactly what year, but you will see the starts to see changes as every month go by and every year go by. Look, we've been the control of Earth has been here for 5,700 years, and a few 4, 5, 7, or 10 years more is not. It's shorter than 5,700 years in control. So if we have to fight and use our technology and our minds, because the humans are very intelligent, they just got us turned off. We need to turn us on so we can be more in control of ourselves. See, these aliens that are brainwashing us to take control of us, they know that if we wake up completely, there's no way they can beat us, because we were created by higher intelligence, a force where we are more intelligent than most of the ETs out there. And they got us in this stage of mind where we're controlled. We need to wake up from that and then fight them with the technology that they have shown us. That's what we need to do.
So, Max, how do we tell then what is a good alien and what is a bad alien? Because a lot of people are having experiences with both right here on Earth.
You need to repeat that again. My mind went somewhere else. Say that again.
My question is, how do people, regular Joes, like people who listen to this show, how are they able to tell a good alien from a bad alien yet? Because we do have people experiencing both types of experiences right now on this planet.
Well, to a normal person that's listening to the radio show, that's never had any experience with awakening or any type, it's not going to be aware of anything at all. He's going to be kept in that stage of mind where he only knows what's around him. But people like you and me and others here on the chat room that are awakened can tell the difference. One of the ways to tell the difference is when the presence of an entity is in your presence. We do feel types of energy around us. We have that intuition that we can feel that that energy that's around that entity is not very good. It feels like something's not right about it, and it doesn't feel good about it. But when you encounter a light being, you do feel the peace and love and harmony that's around them. That's when you feel the difference of which is which. So there are many ways, not just feeling it, but also special people like some of us that can tune into energy. We can actually feel the difference from one and the other. Who's the light and who's the negative. You can actually feel that. And also you can also see it too. I don't know if I answered.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to step out for our final break of the night with Captain Max Steele. We are talking Mars. We're talking extraterrestrials. So much more to fit in the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio. We'll be right back. Want to find out what's coming up on the Spaced Out Radio Network? Go to spacedoutradio.com, where you can find our daily list of shows and guests appearing throughout the week. Want to tell us your story? Be sure to sign up for the Spaced Out Forum for free. Maybe you have a psychic question. Drop in and say hi to Catherine in Cat's Corner. spacedoutradio.com, your 24-hour source for UFOs, ghosts, conspiracies, and more. Check it out today.
Are you one of many who's had a UFO or ET experience? Listen up. The AZ UFO show is on every Sunday night at 7 on the Spaced Out Radio Network. We talk about UFO sightings across the globe, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, and more with me, Rich Giordano. I want you to know what's going on in the skies above you, so tune in to the AZ UFO show on Spaced Out Radio Network on spacedoutradio.com right before Spaced Out Weekend. Our show is literally out of this world.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. With their money-back guarantee and the many benefits, how can you afford not to get one? Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com for mind, body, and spirit, and expect a miracle.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Brand new discovery beats NASA. This is Patrick Webster Small bringing you the Webster Phenomena every Monday night at 8 p.m. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about amazing stuff, have amazing guests. That's all there is, man. You know the rest. Says ET's up in the sky. I'm going to tell you which way and why. And we're going to have a little combo about these ETs in the sky. We're going to chill. This is Patrick Webster Small, and I'll be seeing you every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Write it down on Spaced Out Radio.
Is the 24-hour world starting to wear you down? Let me from Rivulet Reiki and Ratings lend you a hand. Hi, this is Jolene, and if you're in need of Reiki or a realm reading, come to my website, rivuletrr.wix.com/rivuletrr&r, and let us help you out. At Rivulet, I specialize in healing your body, mind, and soul, no matter where you are. And be sure to check out the Rivulet R&R Facebook page for your best deals. Remember, it's time for you to make some time for you.
Hi there, this is Jim Tyson, host of Spaced Out Weekend. When you've had a busy week and you're just wanting to chill out and relax, how about listening into my show? That's right, Spaced Out Weekend. I focus on the paranormal, the arcane. I even dip into the techie side of things and much, much more. And I would love for you to come in and check it out. Remember, Spaced Out Radio goes 7 days a week. Dave Scott, Monday through Friday, and me, Jim Tyson, rolling through the weekends. I look forward to having you stop by for a listen every Saturday and Sunday night, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Missed most of tonight's show? Don't worry, you didn't miss a thing. You can head to our website, where you can download the podcast at spacedoutradio.com. Now, back to tonight's show. Here's Dave Scott.
Happy Turkey Weekend, fellow Canadians. Happy Columbus Day down across the border. Whether you're Canadian or American, we got a long weekend this weekend. Make sure you spend it safe and sound with family and friends. Enjoy your time. No drinking and driving out there. Don't be silly. We need you here as a listener. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. You can follow us on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show. Give our page a like, or you can ask to join our free group on Facebook as well, Spaced Out Radio. It is a private group. Also, please feel free to join our free forum. We need to get some action on there. That's at spacedoutradio.com, where you can also check out our full lineup of shows and ask resident psychic Catherine Fallman any questions you need. She answers one lucky listener's question per week. James Tyson is back with Space Out Weekend tomorrow night and Sunday here in the hot seat of Uncle Jimbo's cabin. But tonight, we still have a few minutes left to talk with Max Steele. We're talking Mars. We're talking extraterrestrial. Max, thank you so much for joining us tonight. As usual, this show goes very, very quickly when you're on. Too quick, because we could be doing this for at least 2-3 more hours and not even scratch the surface of everything we need to get into. Yeah. What is your role now? Are you still active? Are you retired? Or are you still part of the journey?
Well, you answer all of them correctly. I am still active. I am not active with the U.S. Army Special Forces. I'm active a secret organization I'm with right now to help free the planet from the imprisonment that we live in. It won't be very much longer before all this goes away and we can all live in peace among each other. And no money is going to be involved, I'll tell you right now. Okay? But, yes, I'm still active. I do work for different governments when they call upon me. And very soon, Canada is calling me. So I will definitely be there for them. I do want to relocate myself to here, but it's going to be in probably next year, I believe. And yes, I'm going to be in a higher ranking officer.
Wonderful.
I'm going to be lieutenant colonel. I told him I don't want to be lieutenant. I want to be a colonel or a major. But I got to go a step at a time. So,
Max.
It's just
Max, I'm curious because I think a lot of people, when they see what is happening around the world today, with Russia now going into Syria, with China now looking to put troops in that area, with the Americans all over the place, and the conspiracies that are around the United States government about creating ISIS and creating the Taliban and creating all sorts of different scenarios around the world and not being able to clean up their own mess. I'm wondering, when it comes to a global and intergalactic scale, is there another government, or do all governments have like a treaty to make sure that we are protected from the bad alien species and we're accepting of the good guys that are out there?
Well, the only government that I know right now that's actually has done a treaty with light extraterrestrial and also have made treaties with dark entities is Russia. Russia is the only country right now that's actually made some treaties right now. And they're making Vladimir Putin the enemy. He's not the enemy. He's actually the person that has many encounter with different races, and they have made treaties among each other. And actually, there's a lot of races, negative races, are now coming to the light, to the side of the light. They've had enough of it, and they're coming to our side. So the only government that I know right now that it is on the right side of this planet is Russia. Nobody else. Okay? There are other smaller countries that they're trying to understand. They don't understand that. But Russia is the only country right now that's doing all the right things. You will hear things about them invading here and there. It's all a bunch of lies. A lot of things being made up to control the media and all that stuff. Russia is the only country right now that's on our side to bring peace, love, and harmony to the planet Earth. They're the only ones. I would love to be for the United States to do it, but the United States is so corrupt with so many idiots in there that all they care is about how to control people. That's all it is, how to control countries and to do different things. But the only country that's fighting for our rights and for our freedom is Russia. That's the only one right now. Okay.
Well, it does seem like it makes sense that finally we have the second world superpower saying, you know what, enough's enough in the Middle East. It's not getting done. Nothing seems to be getting cleaned up. We have innocent people being murdered, women being tortured. We have Christians being beheaded, no matter if they're a child, male, female, or adult or senior citizen. So I really don't mind what Russia is doing in Syria. I think it's pretty damn good that they finally step up to the market and say, hey, boys, let's clean up this mess, because it sure as hell looks like us allies don't know what we're doing right now. I will say that. But when it comes to the extraterrestrials, is there one country in particular that is truly more in touch than others, or one country that is more involved with interplanetary space programs than others, or does it all fall on the United States?
It all falls on the United States, but Russia is the only country in the planet that, if you notice, Russia goes to different parts of the Middle East to show their presence. The reason why they're showing their presence, because nobody's going to mess with Russia. They are the second largest power in the planet. The United States is losing its ground on that part because Russia is connected with China, and they're trying to start little wars here and there with ISIS, which is really created by the CIA in Jordan. That's where they're training. And one of my guests, my future show, actually trains ISIS. I will bring him on my show very soon, or I can bring him on this show whenever you want that day. But Russia is the only one right now that's protecting those borders so no ISIS can take any more control. They're the ones that are going to destroy ISIS, because the United States ain't going to do nothing about it because they're a part of it. And that's what's going on.
It is scary. It is scary, though.
Yeah.
It is scary, though. You know, let's face it, us in the West here, we absolutely have been told most of our lives that Russia is not somebody who can be trusted. Russia is not somebody who can be one of those countries that you could rely upon. And yes, the Cold War is over. Yes, the walls came down in 1989 and a little bit later with Russia turning more, or getting rid of communism, with Mikhail Gorbachev ending that era of terror. But in the end, it still amazes me that deep down, when it comes to intergalactic type of work, that Russia and the United States are very closely aligned.
That's not true.
No?
No. They're not, no way at all. Russia is a true country that's really fighting for us. They don't want World War III. China doesn't want it either. It's just a bunch of small little group of congressmen in the capital that want this to happen. And you know what? It's not going to happen at all. It's not going to be allowed. The Russians not going to allow it. And you know, Russia is getting intel by somebody important that used to be here. So you know who we're talking about? Edward Snowden. Yeah, I'm sure that he's giving Russia a lot of intel, which I'm glad he is. He's not a traitor. He's really a hero in my book. And if I had to protect him with my life, I would. And if he's listening to this show, I'm telling you, don't come here, because they'll trick you and they'll kill you. Stay where you're at, where you're safe in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
One day I will go back to Russia, and I know I'll be able to see Putin. I have friends that know him.
How many extraterrestrial species are on Earth right now, in your opinion?
Right now, 32.
22?
32.
Where do they come from?
Well, it's hard to tell you all of them, but they're from everywhere. They're from different universes. We got some. We have a race here that arrived here probably about 3 months ago. They're from the. Let me see. They're from the 12th universe out. They're called the Herculones. And they're here. They just arrived very recent. They're interested in what's going on here and why were they left out of being here. And there are many races. There's more positive races here now than negative. And the negative are starting to feel the heat. And before you know it, they're going to disappear for good, and they're not allowed to enter Earth's atmosphere or space. They're not allowed. There are no types of negative entities that's allowed to come to Earth. They're not allowed to enter, but if they want to leave, they will be allowed to leave. Okay, so this is the last warning they'll get before they get their ass kicked out of here. Excuse my language.
When it comes to the extraterrestrials that are taking people and not giving them good experiences, does that have anything to do, Max, with the deal that a couple of your presidents made in the 1950s, which was technology for humans as well as animals? Or is that overblown, that they're just coming in on their own accord to do it?
It's mostly karma, but yeah, the other presidents in the late 50s and 60s were aware about the different types of aliens that were here on Earth. They didn't make deals with them, treaties, for transfer of technology from them to the American government. In exchange, they wanted to experiment on human beings in different types of ways, how to reproduce their alien species that are dying, and wanted to commit hybrids between humans and their kind. So back in those late 50s, well, not the late 50s, but the middle of the 50s, between 53, 54, 56, and 57, they did come here, and they did made a pact with our government, the United States government, to, if we leave them alone, they could do whatever they want with the humans here on Earth, which a lot of, back in those days and even till now, a lot of humans are disappearing from many places, and it's all because of those treaties that the government made with them for exchange for technology. And that's what's been going on.
I think it's fantastic. And I do believe, like, we have had Laura Eisenhower on this show before, who confirmed that her great-grandfather actually did make that treaty. And, you know, I just think it's incredible that, you know, that 50-some years later, 60-some years later, we're still seeing this happen. I have people in this chat room tonight who are having not very good experiences with this. And, you know, I think it's something that, you know, everyone has to kind of just take a step back and say, you know what, most of the ETs are good. They're here to help us. But there are a few bad ones who get through every now and again.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what else to say. You know, I kind of trained myself out today. It's kind of late here, but anyway, in Eastern time. But anyway, we just need.
Max, let me ask you this then, and I'll try and make the question a little bit simpler. What's in, say, the next 10 years going to happen? You're a remote viewer. You're someone who has talked with beings and been in these situations and war rooms. What can people expect over the next 10 years or even 5 years?
Well, that question you asked me, I was told not to answer it. At the beginning, I was being communicated by Ashtabar, my protectors, certain things I shouldn't answer. But I will tell you this, that in the very near future, that's just around the corner, we will not have leaders like we have in different countries. One leader will be appointed here on the planet Earth, where the Earth will be different, and the people will accept it. It's not an antichrist or nothing like that. It's mostly about bringing peace, love, and harmony to the planet, and we're all going to we're all going to be one big family all over the planet, and we are going to be able to not just fly in airplanes anymore, teleport to different parts of the planet here on Earth, and we will have finally peace, and we will finally have love, so much love around us that we are going to fall in love with each other. How's that? But there are changes coming. These changes, they keep telling us that a meteor is going to hit the Earth and all this crap. It's just to create fear. This stuff is false. It's not true. You know, this planet's not going to be destroyed. It's not going to be allowed to be destroyed. It's not in that pattern at all. It's not in that pattern at all.
In other words, the fear-mongering has to stop because the planet's not going to get hit by meteors. We're not going to see 2,000-foot tidal waves wash everybody out. You know, everything is going to be just okay. We're not going to get space invaded like a video game of the 80s. You know, there's not going to be a nuclear war. There's not going to be a World War III. This is what you're saying. Like, it's just around the corner.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. None of that's going to happen. Remember that these people are very good in creating fear. We just need to not think about it, not to go there in that space and time, that reality and timeline. We need to stay in our own space, believe what's around us. And the more you put love into what you're doing to the planet and to Mother Earth, we'll be just fine. Don't believe and don't go into these stages of fear, because this is not the way to do it. That's what the light beings that are here to help us wants us to do, to become a world power of peace and love in this universe, in this planet, that will cure and heal all the pain and all the cancer and all this stuff that's being projected. There is all that there. We just need to put love behind it and stay there. Do not go into fear. Do not follow this news. Do not listen to CNN. They're the first people of creating fear. Stay away from all those places and just become a space of love in your heart to everyone on the planet, and just stay there. That's what we need to do.
Max, we only got about 60 seconds left with you, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on Spaced Out Radio. Anytime we get to hear you chat, you're always enlightening us with some incredible stories. And do you ever think, I'll leave it with this question, do you ever think that you'll ever get a chance to go back to Mars? Or would you?
No, I wouldn't go back. I think there's other planets out there. The thing that I would do, if I ever went to Mars, I would drop a big giant bomb and destroy it with love and peace and harmony, and let it go through the whole planet and destroy all the violence and just turn it into love. That's what I would do. But there's other planets out there that are more interesting than Mars, because there's a lot of peace and love there. And just stay in the love and be peaceful, love each other, hug your friends, hug your neighbors. Once in a while, tell them you love them, and that will be just perfect. Everything will just change and bloom into roses and love.
Awesome. My friend, thank you for being on Space Out Radio.
I love you guys. Thank you for having me on Space Out Radio. This is
always
Max Steele. We're gone.
Do you have a topic or guest you'd like to hear on Spaced Out Radio? Email us, dave@spacedoutradio.com. Send us a quick message on Twitter @SpacedOutRadio, or a message on our Facebook page, Spaced Out Radio. Once again, here's Dave Scott.
Once again, we want to say thank you to Captain Max Steele for being on Space Out Radio tonight. It's a long, long push from his home in Miami, where he is right now, in the fact that it's late there. It's late for a lot of you on the East Coast, but I appreciate it. Tomorrow night and Sunday, we turn the microphone in the studio in Uncle Jimbo's cabin over to James Tyson at Spaced Out Weekend. He'll have one of his Total Energy shows coming up. The paranormal guru of Spaced Out Radio will be back in the hot seat tomorrow night and Sunday. Hope you join it. I am back on Monday. My guest will be Heidi Hollis. We're going to have some real entertaining stories in regards to campfire ghost stories. Let's find out which ones are real. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio. Check us out on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show, or ask to be added to our Spaced Out Radio group. Hey, we had a packed house tonight on the phone lines as well as in the chat room. A few new listeners coming in to check us out. Thank you so much for being with us. We have much love for you. Thank you all for taking the time to spend your important time with us tonight. Trust me, it means a lot. Good night.